Hi, and welcome to Business Source, brought to you by Connecting Business, the show that gives you authentic conversations to help your business. There's no smoke and mirrors, just people sharing their experiences. I'm your host, Lee Nightingale, and today we're going to talk about breaking the stereotypical mold with Bimbola Kila. Bimbola, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your time.
Hello, Lee. Thanks for having me here.
Fantastic. Bimbola, wow, your story is really inspiring when you shared it with me in the call that we had, and the things that I've heard from Steve Burton, who I'm sure will be grateful of the shout out, the social media guru that is Steve. Um, Perhaps you can just share a bit about that story about your journey over the last few years and how you got to where you are today, and share with the listeners and viewers what it is your business does.
Okay, thank you, Lee. So I'll start with my name again. My name is Bimbola Kila. I run a cleaning company in Nigeria. It's one of the fastest cleaning companies in Nigeria. It's called Diamond Shine. I started about 8 years ago when I finished school. So in Nigeria, you have to take a year to serve. It's called NYSC. So it's a year you take out to serve your country. So I had to also do that. So when I was done with that, I kind of knew I was going to do something that has to do with impact, but I wasn't too sure. However, I realized that because of the kind of excellent spirit I have, I like excellence in everything I do or I'm a part of. I realized that anytime I go into office spaces, I'm always very particular about the environment. And I realized that a lot of people ignore this, which is quite fundamental. Um, so the passion began to just rise up in me to do something about it, and that's why I started Diamond Shine, so that people can have a good workspace, a clean, healthy workspace, and also just have that excellent touch to their environment. So I started Diamond Shine. I've been running it for about 8 years now. I did it for about 4 years, and then I started the company. I learned on the job. I didn't have any support whatsoever because when I started, uh, I would say it was a bit of an unusual. People didn't expect me, my family, my friends. They didn't really expect that, like they just kept on asking, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because the industry then wasn't so saturated. People hadn't really, started running professional cleaning companies or offering the service at the time. So I didn't really get so much support, so to say. So I was just by myself on my own, struggling because it was a struggle for me. But at some point, I broke through. I was able to start gathering clients, and at that time, I realized I had to build myself and grow myself because I got to the point where by the company started growing, but I started feeling I didn't have the the accurate capacity to take it to the next level. So I came to the UK, Kingston Business School to be precise, to do an MBA in strategic management, yes, and leadership, which was a very transformative time for me because at that point I was able to, I saw myself, transform. I saw myself become the person I always wanted to be. I also worked in the UK to get corporate knowledge, corporate administrative, and process structures and how to build system. I was able to get that at the point where I worked with Steve for 2 years. So with all of that, I was able to come back to Nigeria and just, transform the company. And I just pour myself, all my learnings, all through the years, I was able to pour it into the company, and I saw a very drastic change. I saw that we're able to get through to our clients. We're able to create marketing strategies. We're able to, do things in a more professional way, and people began to value our services. People began to value our value proposition, and now, as I speak to you, this industry is actually getting really saturated. And it's quite exciting because it's also made me come to that stage whereby I want to give myself, to the industry. I want to give upcoming people that are upcoming. I want to teach them and tell them my journey, where I started from, what I've done to get to where I am. Because I believe it's not a one man race. The industry at large is still yet to be properly appreciated and valued. And I
Right.
see myself giving to the industry in terms of the people, the players in the industry. I see myself doing that as a major role to help other people, value us as a whole. So
Mm.
I've been able to create some communities whereby we have conversations, we help each other and all of that. Because my major problem as of now is that we are not still valued, as
Right.
much as we should, a lot, but we're not still valued, and people still don't have the full understanding of the fundamental importance of having professional cleaners work in your building space, put your building space in a good shape, in a way that when people come in, they feel an ambience of excellence.
Right. Wow. My goodness, Bimbola, where do I begin? There's so much in there that we can dig into that's really inspiring and sort of makes me want to dig deeper there. I mean, first of all, how did you manage to cope with the workload of studying here in the UK and the continuing the business? How did that work out? Did you obviously you had to delegate, right? There's people there that you were able to trust. How did you find that balance?
So luckily for me, I was able to retain my partner in Nigeria. So she was the one doing most of the work. All I did was just coordinate from the UK and just direct, because I was also on a journey where I was learning and acquiring new information and new knowledge. So I was on the go, also passing on that knowledge, or do this, do it this way, do it that way, guide, and also just coordinate. So I
So
would say
you
my partner was
so
doing
you're
most of the
using
work.
the stuff that you were as you were learning it here in Kingston, both
Yeah.
through your education and then with your time with the Point Company, you were taking that live knowledge that you were absorbing in there and filtering it into your company, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that was exactly what I did.
Wow. That's it's a lot of things to be sort of a lot of plates spinning or balls juggling, whatever the analogy is there that you want to do. But it's great that you're able to um, not only keep up with your with the education and cope with doing all of those the degrees and the courses and the study and everything you have to do there, but being able to
Mhm.
filter out key elements of what it is you were learning at the time and applying it quick,
Yes.
into the business. I find that fascinating, and because we don't tend to get that option, we go through our studies, we continue studies, we do normal education, state education, and then we perhaps go on to further education, college, or university, and then you end up going into the workplace. By which time you have no practical business experience at all, whereas you've got that business experience and you've recognized areas that you wanted to improve in yourself to further your career, further the business, and help others back in your community. So you've sort of taken that time aside and out to come and do that learning, and still applied
Yeah,
throughout that process and gone back even stronger and evolved the company into something bigger and better. So I salute you. That's a fantastic effort there.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Well, speaking of universities, and I don't want the listeners and viewers to think this came from me, but I was walking along the street in my town here, and I saw there was a bus stop, and there was a huge poster there for a university. I won't name the university, but their slogan, their strapline was "Not all great minds think alike." And
Ah,
it kind of stopped me. I was walking. I actually stopped, and because it made me think. Because everybody always says, "Oh yeah, great minds do think alike," and I think,
actually.
yeah, I think at a base level you think alike. You know, because you have a certain train of thought, you have certain qualities, you have certain inquisitiveness. You know, uh, that and drive and determination, all those kind of qualities. But then what makes us different is thinking differently. And it'd be great to hear a little bit more about being a woman in Nigeria, going into this kind of industry and really leading it and pushing it forward and breaking boundaries. So I'm really keen to hear a bit more about that.
Mm. That's a very interesting question, and I'm happy you asked because it's something that I think in a place like this, in this part of the world, we all need to, just work on. Women here are very, uh, they, we don't, they don't really, I don't want to use the word sexist, but that inequality is there,
Right.
definitely, especially even in the workplace and most especially in the entrepreneurial space. My own industry, especially, we have more guys, we have more the male gender, as players in my industry because it's you might say it's the work of a laborer because it's hard work, because
Right.
um,
And
I'll give I'll give
just to be clear, is it again we're talking about breaking the stereotypical mold because it's the same in the world over. It tends to be male leaders, they run the company, and in this particular sector, female workers doing the laboring work. I'm not going to say you flipped that on its head, but you said, why can't I be the leader of that organization? Why can't I be um, an entrepreneur and break that mold? Keep going back to that, and then show other women that literally anything's possible. You can do it. So yeah, a really inspiring story. So perhaps you can give us a sense of the size of the organization, the types of people that you employ. Is it male, female, mix? Um, and then secondly, I'm really keen to hear about um, the sort of contracts that you've been able to acquire. Some interesting ones which you shared with me before. So it'd be
okay.
great if you could share that story.
Yeah, so currently we have a staff strength of about 30, and we've been able to acquire retainerships. So we have two segments of the business. We have retainerships where we have ongoing contracts with private or government sector, or we have the business. The second business segment, sorry, is where you have the one-off jobs. So the one-off jobs is just people that want to, for example, do like an industrial cleaning of their warehouses or their private
Right.
homes. Currently, we are on different government jobs, government contracts, and some of them are we've done the National Assembly. National Assembly, that's the White House in Nigeria. We did that for a period of a year, and then we're currently running the National Defense Corps headquarters in Abuja here. And we also have a few private offices and organizations that we help to maintain their office spaces.
Mm.
Most of our staff member are male, is the male gender because of the kind of work because they deal with a lot of usage of equipment and machineries. So we've had to hire more of the male gender. So it's about, I would say about 60% male gender and then 40% female. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's just incredible that you've been able to sort of build it up to that level, and great that you've had the vision to say, well, these one-off jobs are great, but in order to create stability within the organization, you need, I guess, what we would now call sort of annual recurring revenue or monthly recurring revenue, sort of those contracts that give you as the owner stability, visibility, cash flow. You're able to plan better, I'm sure, from a budgeting standpoint. Know that you've got a set of accounts that are going to keep renewing, and then from a staffing standpoint, you know that you don't have to sort of yo-yo with the number of staff you've got. You can know what your minimum level needs to be in order to service those contract clients, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. And any other sort of local challenges that you've got there down in Nigeria that you can share with us that sort of could have derailed what you were doing? Times where maybe you thought, should I be doing this? Maybe if you've got some additional stories you can share there.
Okay, I'll use the COVID-19 experience.
Okay.
Okay, so when the lockdown started, we had a bit of an issue with our resources. So most of our consumables and chemicals and equipment that we use to carry out this job are not, because Nigeria, as you may know, it's not a manufacturing country. We tend to import most of our materials that we use, but because of the lockdown, we were unable to bring in new materials. We were unable to bring in new equipment, which was a major issue for us in carrying out the service in itself. So what we had to do was then buy locally. So we had to source for local suppliers, and the issue with sourcing for local suppliers is because of the fact that they were not allowing new imports. The ones that left locally become more expensive. So you're talking about times 2 the price. Yes. So that was a serious hit we had in during the course of the COVID. However, it made us come to the conclusion of next time we're going to bring in stuff, we have to then increase the quantity. So should, in case because the lockdown in Nigeria was not too long. It was about 2 months. It was about a month to 2 months. So
okay.
if we were active enough to we're proactive enough to have structured our system in a way that we always have excess for about 2 months, we won't have had to go through that issue. So that was a learning curve for us. Moving forward, now we know to stock up on our supplies, to have excess of over 3 months to help with any form of shortage whatsoever. So yeah, that was one major issue that we had during the COVID period. And another issue we had was people had to start people that we were on retainer with, which was supposed to be a confirmed source of inflow for us. They had to cut it off without any notice, which was understandable because of the lockdown. Our other business sector whereby we get the inflow, the one-off inflows, was also was also, I mean, we had 0 naira coming in from there. At that point, I asked the leader, I had to find a way to get myself out of that situation. And what did I do? I looked into the market, and I realized that people were not necessarily looking for cleaning companies, but they were looking for they were in need of companies to help disinfect. There was a lot of there was a lot of need for disinfection of COVID. So what I immediately did was I did a course online by ISSA. It's a global organization that governs our processes, the cleaning industry. So I belong to that association, and luckily for me, I was able to get a course online, and immediately I got the course, I was able to then push out a campaign for that. And the moment we pushed out that campaign, we started getting requests for disinfection. So that helped us to balance up during the COVID, during the lockdown process.
Fantastic.
Caused by COVID, of course.
So yeah, I mean that's a great story of how obviously you're in the cleaning business, but and you disinfect stuff naturally with the products you're doing, but this is different, right? You need different set of products and perhaps tools and that you need to do that. So it was great that you were able to pick up on that quickly and recognize that you have all the necessary contacts, you have the team ready, you have the experience of how deep to get into that cleaning process. So fantastic that you were able to. I don't want to necessarily say see a gap in the market, but you identified that there was a need there for which that you were able to help and supply a service. So that's fantastic. Speaking of COVID, then, I mean, we could talk for hours about the global impact.
Questions.
Yeah, I'm curious for you personally. How did it affect you? What was daily life like pre-March, and then in those sort of month to 2 months where lockdown was, and what did you do to keep yourself busy and sort of mentally sharp? Talk us through that. So I'm really trying to, when I'm chatting with people on these podcasts, really try and understand different people thinking in different ways. Not the great minds not thinking alike. What tips and tricks did you use to keep yourself busy and entertained and mentally sharp?
Yes. I'll first say, I'll be honest, I'll first say the first week was us trying to understand what was going on. So it was more of us waiting. So what's going to happen? So what's next? However, I realized that this lockdown is here to stay. Time is going. I need to do something with the time. So I started mentoring. I said mentoring young entrepreneurs that are looking to go into my sector. So I put up a post on my social media platforms. If you're looking into starting up a cleaning business, if you have challenges with your cleaning business, these are the things I can help you with, and it's for free. You have 30 minutes with me, apply, and if you're selected, yes, you have a session with me. So I did that for about 40 people. And it was very helpful for me, because there's something about teaching. When you teach, you also learn in the process. So in the process of me mentoring people and teaching people, it was also helping me to realize the gaps in my own system and how I can help to fix them. So it was a very fruitful one for me, and I'm happy I made that decision.
Yeah, because we can get too complacent, right? We get so far down our journey, we forget the fundamentals of what got us to where we are. So I guess the affirmation, you're revisiting and sharing those experiences and tips and tricks and processes and things to help people get going. It's reminding you, don't drop the ball, keep doing those things that got us to where we are. So yeah, that's a fantastic thing, and giving your time, something that's new to me in terms of a concept, but not necessarily in terms of who I am and what I do, is the Ubuntu philosophy about I am because we are. So the whole concept of sharing, and I'm happy if you're happy.
Yeah,
If I can make you happy, that makes me happy. And if I
yeah,
can give you some food that's going to mean that you get to eat, then we'll do that. This whole sense of community, and we are all as one, and together
yeah.
we can be strong and be happy. Um, so uh, I guess I would classify myself as a helper, if you like. I really enjoy um, and perhaps to my detriment, because some people don't necessarily want that help. But if I see somebody struggling with something, I'm there.
Mm.
I want to sort of say, hey, I've got experience of doing this.
Yeah.
You could perhaps do it this way, and it'll be more efficient and quicker, and you get better results. And it really excites me sharing the knowledge and experience I have from my career with other people. Um, do you find that is that what's sort of driving you?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. Do you mind repeating yourself, please?
Uh,
I think the
yeah, no
network.
problem. I was just saying the Ubuntu concept, of sharing and giving, and for me, I enjoy sharing my experience with people and the knowledge that I've got from
Yeah.
my business, and helping them solve their
Mhm.
business challenges. That's what drives me.
Okay. Yes. Actually, uh, I was gonna suggest a book,
Okay,
and
go
that book
ahead.
that's exactly what's about. Can I go ahead? Can I go ahead?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, I'd love to.
This is it. It's one of my favorite books in the world. That's exactly what it's talking about. It talks about giving, really. It talks about giving, and not just giving. The people you give, teach them how to pay it forward, because that's how the world works. You have to give, and then teach the people you're giving to pay it forward. That's how you're able to create an entire circle of empowering people.
Right,
This book talks not just about giving; it also talks about collaborating and partnership. It opens you up to the need. I mean, in 21st century, that's what everyone is talking about. Everyone's about collaboration and partnership. It teaches you how you know doing stuff with people would help you achieve way more than just believe, no matter how ambitious you are, by the way. Doing stuff with people, collaborating and partnering with people would always help
right.
you to achieve way more doing stuff. So it's just yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for giving and impacting and changing the lives of people and just pouring yourself into people. And the funny thing is, it also compares people that like to give to people that like to take, and it gives you a comprehensive breakdown of the mental structure, the behavioral pattern of people that like to give and people that like to take. And in the long run, you see that when you give, you actually get more than people that actually
Yeah.
take.
For the purpose of those people listening and not watching this video, that book is called Give and Take by Adam Grant. Was that right? And
Yes,
just hold that up
Adam
for us.
Grant.
Yeah. Yeah. Give and Take by Adam Grant. So yeah, I think, if you think through your own personal network, and your friends, there's always someone who is constantly asking you for help, or can you just do this, can you just do that, can you just do this, and it feels like they're constantly taking. And if you think
Mhm.
throughout your relationship, you know did they ever do anything for you, there's quite often the
Yeah.
answer is no, no, or not necessarily have they done something for you, do you see that person doing things for others? or do you see them constantly taking from others? Which you're right in what you're saying. If you actually flip it on its head and give to others, by the nature of the universe, asking it should be given, and all that kind of mentality, people will want to give and help you.
Actually.
And when you do ask for that help, it's there without question, because you have a history of just giving yourself to everybody else, and sharing. So that's a fascinating book, one I'm going to order on a popular book buying website. I'm not going to name names because he's got plenty of money already. The book that I'd like to share, and it's one that I've had for a while, because I got given it at a conference, but I haven't managed to read too much into it yet, but I'm sort of getting into the concepts. And it's Mr. Robbins himself, Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins, Money, Master the Game, 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. And I think it's really important to say that this book is about, it doesn't matter how much or how little you have, but having some kind of plan for financial stability and financial security is possible in whatever realms, but without a plan of any kind, you're just gonna drift, and things will seem very, overwhelming. So this book really shares that kind of story, and gives you the help and guidance that you might need. But it doesn't matter which level you're at, whether you're looking to save £1,000 or £1 million. Having a plan in place is what that's about. So that's a great book. Interesting. We're all obviously reading. We're all obviously reading a lot more now than we were, and I guess even more interestingly is I do have a Kindle, which I really like to use on holiday to save weight when you're with traveling with cases and backpacks and everything, and it's really handy. You're out at the beach and you're holding it in one hand, and it's all great. But when you're at home, nothing replaces a book. I don't think the smell, the feel, the touching, the turning of the pages, you get absorbed into the experience of reading the book. Yeah. Fantastic. Bimbola, any other things that you'd like to share, or maybe ask me, that we can share with the listeners and viewers?
Yes, Lee, we've been talking about me all through, so I would like to know about you. I'd like to know more about your business.
Sure.
So do you mind?
Not at all. Fundamentally, Connecting Business helps companies connect strategy, people, and technology to become more efficient, whether looking at processes, but essentially all of that there is to help businesses grow quicker, so helping you to scale. Invariably we end up being involved with companies in the scale up phase, so they are just about to seek investment, or maybe they've just got it and now things are on a rapid growth. And invariably what we're finding is that even pre-investment and post-investment, everybody's focused on sales, marketing, and the product or service that you're selling. So those are the 3 sort of spearheads to drive the business forward. And what tends to get left behind is the internal tools and systems and processes for how to support that business and underpin the business. Very disconnected, lots of spreadsheets and just whatever it takes at the time to help track sales and look at the numbers. But we kind of fill that gap. So we come in and act as almost like business operations, if you like. So we look at the whole end-to-end cycle between somebody being interested in your product or service through to the closing of the sale, and then beyond into collection of cash and delivery of that product and service and ongoing maintenance. We look at the whole process end to end, and then make recommendations around how you can make that more efficient through changing process, through a changing tech, or improving the tech that you've got. So the foundation of what we do is the Salesforce.com platform. That tends to be the sort of central hub of that process. And then we, of course, ensure that all the different business units are contributing to that system, and we're connecting third-party apps into that to help with different areas of the business. And then finally, I guess, providing the business insights, the analytics, the numbers, so that the business leaders and management and boards can see the impact and see what's happening with the business. So that's what we do.
Amazing. It sounds like your proposition, it sounds like you're offering so much for the growth and the seamless operation of a company. So what would you say is your ideal client? Who would you say is your ideal client?
So typically we fit well in that scale up phase of an organization, and in terms of sector or industry type, it tends to be data, tech, SaaS companies, demand generation companies. Those two tend to come hand in hand. There's lots of demand gen going on for tech and data companies, and the events business, which has clearly been hit very, very hard of late. It's basically decimated, and people are just starting to come back now, and virtual events have taken off. But those are the three main areas. In terms of size, probably 25 to 500 employees. But I was chatting with someone just the other day about this concept of small business, medium business. Yeah, I think enterprise, everyone kind of just knows, multi hundreds of millions, billions, massive organization, thousands and thousands of employees. That's fine. But the small business bit is baffling me, because tech companies now don't need hundreds and hundreds of people in order to be turning over tens and hundreds of millions of pounds. But because of the employee size, they're still classified as a small business. So you could have someone, a business that's got under 100 employees doing 50 million, 100 million in annual revenue, and they're still classified as a small business, which I find really strange. Yeah, there we go. But that's the kind of clients that we get involved with, and again, generally around that point where they want to get investment or they've just got it, and we can help provide the insights and analytics to the would-be investors and/or those that have just invested. We can ensure their money is put to good use, not only just in sales, marketing, and product, but they need to see the whole holistic view of the business and what's going on and how well it's doing, and they get that from the numbers, and that can only come from having consistent, scalable processes, all within a robust platform that can support that business strategy.
Fantastic. Well, yeah. I shared with you how I had a bit of a challenge with our supply chain during the COVID-19 lockdown. I'm sure you had challenges as well in your own business. So do you mind shedding some light with what the issues were and how you've been able to stay afloat?
Yeah, fascinating. I think we're very lucky. I feel lucky in the sense of I deal we deal with, and the business is focused around a SaaS platform. So Salesforce is a SaaS platform. So I don't have a physical product to buy and sell and ship and everything like that. And Salesforce is the global leader, turning over $15 billion a year or whatever it is. It's a huge amount. So the name is out there. And I guess what we found was that the number of new projects that are out there just kind of stopped. Generally, it stopped. But then there were these projects going on whereby they just got investment pre-COVID, or even during COVID. Now they're still getting investment, and so they can't pause. They're still aiming at driving the business forward. So they've been implementing the Salesforce platform, or what we found is they've already got it, and we've been supporting them. And now, certainly in those first 2, 3, 4 weeks where everything just kind of went, they sent all their employees home, and whilst they figured out their remote strategy, they were sort of thinking, well, wait a minute, let's use this time to look at the way we do things. Clearly, we've now got to change the way we do things in order for people to work from home. But let's look at the whole end-to-end process within the business. And part of that, again, data tech companies, was let's look at the data, let's look at the quality of the data we've got and see where we can improve that. So improving processes, in getting better tech needed in order to pivot to be able to work from home. And the data and the data analytics was something that a lot of our clients really kind of came to us for support with.
Amazing. So this also opened up new opportunities for you, because people wanted to look into their system and make it more efficient, because people now had to work from home. So you also had to prefer solutions as to that, and strategies as to how to make it more efficient, I would say.
Yeah, I guess probably one of the biggest challenges for the clients were, we've got an office where people come to and they've got PCs that they work at, and there's a phone on the desk, and now that person is sat at home with none of that. So they quickly had to sort of say, well, I need to buy them a laptop. Do they even have internet connection at home? Do they have broadband? We need to buy them headsets, and it's okay having those two, but do we have dialer systems, phone systems? Because in the office there's a phone, an IP phone. They just pick up the phone, punch a number in, and dial. And now I'm expecting them to continue to make phone calls to either sell things or to support existing clients with this laptop and a headset, which means I now need to supply a call telephony or CTI tech solution in order for us to continue that business. So that was a big challenge for our clients, and thankfully we're able to support them with that.
Fantastic. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It's as I say, it's kind of, some are super busy, and some have said no, let's just not do anything. So the yin and the yang. But we'll continue to support all of our existing clients and anybody else that needs that help. So Bimbola, thank you so much. I feel very lucky to have spent this time with you. I feel very inspired, very humbled. Congratulations on your success. Long may it continue.
Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you for joining us on Business Source. Again, this is provided by Connecting Business. My name is Lee Nightingale, and look forward to chatting to you on the next episode.